Hey guys, welcome to the Boring Hour with Alora Dannon. I would like to take my time and welcome my co-host, B Vaz. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody? This is Bvaz, aka Brandon, coming to you live from Philadelphia, PA.
Mr. Fuzz, man, go ahead.
Hey, it's your boy Aaron, your favorite teddy bear, coming to you live from Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right, next, go ahead, Mr. Trav. Do your thing.
Trav, CEO of Executive Entertainment. I'm actually in the Youngstown, Pennsylvania area right now.
All right. So today's topic that we're going to be hitting is drill music. And I'm going to give you guys a brief explanation what drill music is. This is something that is new for me. I just found out about it today. So, drill music is a type of trap music defined by its dark, violent lyrics and content. So, I guess they're saying that you're it's dark music. I've listened to a couple of drill songs, I guess, and never knew that's what it was called. We're not from an era of drill music. We're from trap music era. You know that Ti, that banger. But someone else, go ahead and break down what drill music is. Aaron, I think you were doing that last time for us. Come on.
Oh yeah, drill music is just pretty much it started up in Chicago's what a lot of gangster rappers like it's like gangster rap except for with gangster rap in our day was more fantasized. These are people talking about real things that they've really done.
Mm. So they commit crimes and then tell on themselves in their music. Whew,
That
that is not what it is.
That's a
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the hard hitting question. So the hard hitting question today is drill music. Is it the cause for violence amongst urban kids? So Trey, I want you to go ahead and take that. Go ahead.
absolutely not, and that's my own opinion. I just feel like '80s and '90s babies, we were molded not to be followers. So if they saying like this music is telling these kids to go out and shoot something up or be a trapper or whatever, like you a follower. Like you're a follower. So I don't believe that maybe some kids, yeah, but not all kids. Like I wasn't raised to be a follower. That's why I could never be a gang member or anything like that because my mom and my whole family honestly instilled in us to be leaders. So I do everything I lead. I don't follow. So
Oh, I
drill
like
music,
that.
you know, would never, could never. Even with my kids, they would never listen to a song and just go and do
Commit a
something
crime.
off the song. Yeah, no, no.
Okay.
But some kids
Vasquez.
are like that though.
Okay. Vasquez, what you think?
All right. So I agree with the two gentlemen that was talking about the whole like situation with the trap music. I mean, not trap music, drill music. Sorry. So drill music, right, is references their actions when they were struggling, and now that they have record deals, they're still talking about it, and to influence the youth. That's like for me, if that's a thing, like I agree with Trey. It's a bunch of followers,
Trav,
but
yeah.
if trap, yeah, trap. If you, and then that shows that shows like a thought. What's happening to kids today? TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok's raising your kids. I said that.
Yeah.
So a lot of followers, they're following what they see, they're following what they hear, they're following what they think is the norm. And if they're seeing that people committing crimes is cool and in, well, then they're saying to themselves, well, if they're doing it, I'm going to do it. And then
Right.
if we
Right.
change that mindset of like, I think that's what the mayor's trying to do is saying, hey, he met with a whole bunch of drill rappers early last week or late night. He did it late night and he wanted to tell them, hey guys, the message you guys are passing is kind of a negative it's a negative message. I think he's trying to tell them to change what they're saying.
Mm.
Me personally, I used to listen to that. I used to listen to NWA. I used to listen to Snoop, Dr. Dre, and Eazy-E. The stuff they was talking about, it's the same stuff, just less elaborate. They elaborate a
was
little
less
more here in the
elaborate.
drill rap.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same stuff. And I'm like, I was never influenced to do those things.
Right.
So why is our youth? And that we look at not only just the parents, but look at how social media is influencing our children today. That's my thoughts.
Can I add this though? Like the New York mayor, he jumped the gun because this stuff is not coming out of New York. It's coming out of Chicago.
It is.
Like, let's be honest. Like, Chirac is like probably the worst city in America right now, and OTF and Young Dirk and Lil Durk and King Von and all them dudes, like them dudes talk. The only dude I haven't heard that really talk about killing people is G Herbo. Out of that whole area, you feel what I'm saying? So like the dude from New York, he jumped the gun because it ain't coming out of New York, man. People don't even really listen to New York rappers like that. Like it's like a Midwest down south thing type.
Yeah,
right now.
Listen to the Chicago rappers. You're right about that.
See, no,
And
it's
Detroit
not.
too,
That's
though. Detroit.
But that's not why. But that's not why he met with them. He did it to spread awareness because of the rising crime that's happening in New York City. It's not about where it originated. It's about where it's going. And what he's trying to do is stop the violence and stop the crime, because if you haven't paid attention to what's going on in all different cities, right? A lot of the cities that have a high murder rate, high violence rate, as far as like assault and all that, and high crime rates are getting worse, and they're not getting better. And they're getting worse because of what's been happening in the political side. There's been a big push to defund police. Police now cannot do their job without being scrutinized at every step of the way. So you cause this problem where there's a void. When you completely remove the security and protection from a society, all that's left is anarchy. It's the purge. Like what's happening to these cities is bad, and the only way to stop it is to tell the guys that he's thinking. This is his thoughts. This is what he's thinking is going to help.
Right.
If you guys have these things that are influenced on our youth, please spread the message of like, you're not in this life anymore. Please spread the message of these are things you've done because you made poor choices in life, and now you're living a better life. You're not in that life anymore. Okay. So I think that's what he's trying to do.
So can I chime in real quick before you go?
Okay, go ahead, and then I want to say something.
Why they not going to these big companies that produce Fortnite or any other these games or whatever? These dudes is not really, they're influencers. Like for real, they really are influencers, because trap music influenced a lot of different things. But like these dudes really not influencing nobody to go out and kill somebody. Come on now, like. That got to be in your head. That's something psychology. You know what I mean? Like to just shoot a gun and kill somebody. It take a lot to do that. Like it take a lot to shoot somebody. Trust me.
Okay. So what I was gonna say, Brandon said it's a following. Like children are following what these social media people are doing too. So and that says a lot, because that means if we're gonna hold the rappers accountable, we also need to hold the TikTokers accountable and any other social medias who push out content and then have kids imitating what they're doing. Because the norm now is if you see someone on TV TikToking, then it is now cool for you to imitate that, you know? And so I believe, I forget the name of the song, but it was a TikTok video, and it was like somebody got shot, this person got shot, and they're like, where's Corbin? You know, everyone was dancing to that. Everyone thought it was cool until Corbin's mom came out. And Corbin's mom said, listen, Corbin was found. He's no longer missing.
So that's real?
Yes. It's not funny that someone has made this song and then the world is entertaining it by dancing and gyrating to it. So if we're going to hold the rappers accountable, then we need to hold everyone accountable, because trends start by these creators who take the rap music and they make it more popular. When Drake's song came out, Kiki, do you love me? That song was doing okay, but it was pushed by the top. It was pushed to the top, excuse me. It was pushed to the top by the dude Shiggy, who came and did the dance. And now that was a big thing. Everyone wanted to jump out cars and be doing that and getting hurt. Like, people nowadays literally be dying for the extreme pictures, the extreme TikToks, you know. So that's what I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. But that's what I wanted to say.
It's
The
been
rappers
going on though.
Yeah, this has been a thing. It's not
Yeah,
just
like
rap.
Soldier Boy had his little thing. Like, everybody got their little thing, but it's up to parents. It's up to the parents to teach our kids. Like, don't follow that bullshit.
One second, Trey. 1 second. Can I get
Yes.
Aaron's thoughts, please?
Yeah.
I'd like to know what you're thinking about all this.
Pretty much, I think that like it does, like, sadly, it's for the people in those areas where it does influence them because of the way that they grow up. Like, it's becomes, you got, not all of these rappers have deals. These are just local rappers who can get on TV and talk about crimes that they did, and now you got the whole neighborhood like, oh man, he a gangster. And
Right.
all the rest of these kids want to be that same thing.
Glorifying it.
Yeah. But it's not
That-
everywhere. It's like it is those people, those kids who grow
In
up
the
in
high
Midwest.
crime areas, right? The lower
Urban.
income communities, very, very rundown communities, right?
Yeah.
So,
And-
I mean, I grew up with Alora back in the day in Youngstown. Youngstown was a rough area back in the day, right?
Mhm.
It was number one murder rate.
Back in the day,
Number one murder capital in the world. It
nah,
was the number.
we rough right now.
Well, it was no back then. It was too. You couldn't go to Mill Creek Park after 6.
Oh yeah, Mill
Remember
Creek.
that? We couldn't go
Bodies
in
would
there. We
always
were
pop
told
up in Mill
not to.
Creek.
Right.
Yeah.
But even though with all that problems, who do we had? We had Tupac. We had Biggie. Right?
Yeah.
KRS-One. Rakim. The whole Wu-Tang Clan. Who did I name did not commit a crime?
They all did.
You know what I'm saying? They all had done stuff and put themselves in a position where their lifestyle, they rapped about it, and then they got famous and rich off of it, right?
Mhm.
So these issues that we're seeing today are the situation on why we're running into this problem. It's like social media has made a problem with society to where it's cool to mimic what we see rather than just listen to it for the entertainment.
Right.
So I think what Trey was saying about the followers stuff, and that's the problem with the society today and TikTok raising your children. I'm totally down for that. And Aaron, if you want to chime in on that, that'd be cool, because what do you think about that? I think that's something that might be needed to be looked at, is how social media is doing to our children.
Social media though, but that I always feel like social media is, you can't just blame social media. Social media is going to be what it is. It's up to us parents to actually take stuff from your kids. Like, my son can have like all of that stuff blocked from his phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like blaming social media gives parents crutches to them not being a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Because I use my wife runs a daycare. We used to have this one little girl that, like, she had a cell phone. She called my wife in the middle of the day and asked and said she was with one of her little friends and wanted to talk to my son. And they started talking about things that kids shouldn't talk about. So my wife is like, "Where's your mother?" She's like, "My mom is sitting right in the driver's seat right next to us." How's she sitting right next to you and don't hear what
And
you're
don't
saying?
hear what she's saying. That's crazy. But yeah, I would have to agree. The parents can't always use social media as a crutch. So my children, my daughter, I didn't allow her to have an Instagram account until the age of 16. And Facebook, she just recently got on Facebook, and she's 18 now. My sons are 16. No, yeah, 16, about to be 17, and I have a 15-year-old. They're on IG now, but they have to be logged in on my phone also. And anytime that account becomes like where it's slow motion on there, I know they created another account. Now run that account, password. I need to get on here and I need to see what you're doing. That's the things. If the kid's going to do social media because they're going to want to do it, then we have to monitor what they're doing. So we can't just always just say, hey, it's the rappers, it's social media, but social media does play a part in our children's lives. So we have to take everything into account. So Mayor Eric Adams, I'm going to have to ask you to please address TikTok. Address TikTok. So if you're going to come for the rappers, then you have to address TikTok, because TikTok pushes the rappers' music even more than any other social media site. You understand what I'm saying? So another thing would be, let's help these children in high crime areas get access to food, to shelter. Make sure that they're not going month to month and they're trying to figure out where they're going to live. These young men who are out here committing these crimes, they're committing these crimes because they want to make sure mama's rent is paid. They want to make sure that their sister or brother has a meal for the day. So there are so many aspects to this. So I get what he's trying to do, but I have to say he did jump the gun, because you can't just call out the rappers and then you don't call out the music labels, because you're talking to rappers. They're putting out the content, right? But the labels are sitting there and they're telling them, hey, go ahead and create beef with this person. You create beef with this person, that's going to give you more street cred. Now, this little boy over here, he's going to think you're tough and he's going to go buy your music. He's going to go stream your music. So there is a person that's sitting behind these rappers. We got to hold them accountable too. If we want to change the rap culture, then we have to first address the record labels who want them to be out here beefing and degrading their own culture. Guys, anyone else want to touch base on that?
I totally agree.
I agree.
You agree? Okay. You agree?
Yep.
Okay, there's a lag. I'm sorry, guys. All right, I'm sorry. I don't like for it to be quiet too long.
Now, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'll just go ahead and add on to the end of there. When you're saying we can't blame social media, I would have to say I disagree with that. Only because your kids are going to find a way to get on, even if you block it. They have friends. And if their friends aren't being monitored, they're going to find a way to get in there. Because, when people, not going to name anybody, but an individual who was not allowed to do certain things or listen to a certain music have to sneak out somewhere to go and listen to it. These are the things that happen. Okay, so you can't really say that you block everything, it's going to stop that from happening. What I'm going to say is, since cell phones came into market, not just regular cell phones, but the ones that are smartphones, since they became the last, I say, 18 years, almost 18 years, there's been a decline in social interaction, how people communicate, how we absorb content has changed drastically. Today, we're not just watching a television. We're streaming stuff all over the place on any device that can have internet-enabled device. If it's internet-enabled device, it's definitely able to put any type of video content. So if we have our children consuming this stuff and they don't have the maturity in their minds to differentiate, hey, this is not real. They may be rapping about this stuff, but this is something that you as an individual need to know that it's law breaking, and the fact that they're able to talk about it and they're not in jail, there's a problem with our judicial system. One, police ain't doing what they need to do. Two, you little child need to understand, if you break the law, you will go to jail. So there's no punishment, cause and effect punishments here coming on. So we're having a big problem here with society where now it's becoming a thing to commit a crime and it's fine. The last 2 years, cities have been completely destroyed due to protesters that are protesting for a reason that I can't be a part of, because it's not for a cause if you're going to destroy a city. So we've been having those problems. We've been having this issue with police not being able to get involved, because if they do, they'll be scrutinized. There's not one police officer. I mean, the retirement rate is out through this roof. There's not one police officer that wants to stay to retirement, because the minute they go in there, they're feeling that they're being scrutinized. The police that are policing right now, those people are the bravest people in the world, because with all the scrutiny, with all the issues that are happening in the world, they're still willing to protect those that don't even deserve to be protected. Now, that's my take on that. But I mean, whoever else wants to.
Well, I believe everyone deserves to be protected. But we need police. We do. But we need police officers who aren't going to go and break the laws themselves. We need cops who are going to truly uphold the law and respect the badge that they wear and honor it. Like doctors take the Hippocratic oath, our police officers have to live by that same standard and obey the laws. But also, as humans, we should all uphold ourselves to a certain moral standard and a moral compass. And so rappers, morally, we should think about the content that we put out into the world, because this affects the young Black race more than anything, because the young Black race are the ones that are killing each other. You know, we do have other communities who murder each other, but I'm not addressing them because the issue right now is about my community. So I'm gonna stand up for my community and try to save my community. So I learned about King Von. I'm gonna talk about King Von. I learned about King Von through my children. And Brandon, you're right. Children do find a way to listen to what they want to listen to, because I have never heard of King Von. I'm not from Chicago. I've never been to Chicago, or this rapper named Chief Keef. Okay, my children listen to King Von faithfully, and I was listening to my daughter rapping one day, and I was like, "How you know all these words? I've never listened to this. I've never played this." And she says, "Mom, at school, everyone at school listens to it." So you're right. They are exposed at school and outside of the household. And I was one of those people who used to sneak and listen to the music I wasn't supposed to listen to at my cousin's house, because the way my aunt and uncle raised me, we were not allowed to listen to rap music at all. So I had to wait till I go to my cousin's house where my aunt wasn't so strict. So you're right about that. But I did want to move on with questioning. So I did have another question. So the next question I wanted to say, should we really censor rappers and rap music like DaBaby? So we censor the music that rappers put out like DaBaby and what is that other guy's name? Lil Durk. Because DaBaby has a history of violence, right? And I believe DaBaby wants to do so much for his community, because he when it comes to giving back, DaBaby gives back. But I think that he doesn't think about some of his actions, like lately when he slapped his brother-in-law, basically. Well, I'm not gonna call him his brother-in-law, but his baby mother's brother, Mr. Beals, when he punched him, not really slapped him. When he punched him at the bowling alley, and then he rapped so much about the murder that he committed at Walmart, even though it was self-defense. Does that affect our kids? And should he be censored for some of the things that he put in his lyrics? Should we start censoring these rappers?
So I got 3 points. No, you can't censor them at all. You can't censor them. DaBaby, you know, like everybody know DaBaby. If you run up on dude, he gonna give you exactly what you asking for. Now, let's not only talk about DaBaby. Let's talk about Gucci. Gucci killed the dude 20 years ago, and he's still rapping about it today. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like my thing with DaBaby is it's just street stuff that millionaires shouldn't even indulge in that. But
yes,
like Kanye is a billionaire, and look what he going through right now. You feel what I'm saying? So you can't really censor it, because it's gonna get to your kid anyway. But you can give your kid knowledge. Like, look, some of this stuff they talking about is fake. Some of it ain't fake.
Well, what I'm saying is not really censor it as in what your kids are absorbing, but what they're putting out. So what I mean is, should the record companies be fined every time a rapper talks about a person that they killed? Because you have to remember, these people that they killed, they have families. Go ahead, B.
Unfortunately, for the side of the First Amendment, I'm going to say no. Because back in, I think it was 1991, Two Live Crew came out. And you had censorships out of this world. It's the reason why there's parental advisories, because the music that they put out completely offended the entire mothers and fathers of the suburban areas, not the rural, not the urban, the suburban moms and dads called their congressman, to the point where Senator Lieberman, this is a guy who used to be in office a long time ago, he's the reason why we have parental advisory. He's the reason why we have ESRB for the video games. Think of anything that's censored on TV, it's because of him. You know, in other countries, they show women's breasts. Just so you know, we're the only country here that we censor all kinds of crap. And it's because of the Puritan mindset that this country was founded on. If you remember how the Pilgrims were very very liberal, or no, they were very conservative in their ways, meaning they did not like certain things that offended them as a culture. Mm-hmm. So what happened is they got kicked out of England. And what they do, they took a migration out west and they settled all around this area. So up here all the way down to I think is South Carolina, mm-hmm. all that was like the Puritans. So the reason why we have all these problems with censorship and all that is because of that ideology. That ideology of censorship, I think, is ridiculous. I don't think it should be something what we do. We just need to make sure that people are mature enough to understand what's going on and educate themselves on maybe these things that are rapping about may be cool to you, but mimicking it in life has mm-hmm. consequences. Right. These guys got away with it and they shouldn't have. Mm-mm. So if they're rapping about it, then they should be held accountable. I think they should be held as liable more than anything. They should, instead of being fined like the companies, go after the rappers. They should be held liable. And I think the families should do it because they're like, mm-hmm. okay, so you want to brag about this?
That's omission.
Fine, I'm coming after you. Yeah. I can't get you in the courts for federal courts or any municipal courts, but I can get you in a civil court. And it's another thing what happened with OJ. OJ Simpson got hit with a civil suit to the point mm-hmm. where he got away with his murder. But they found out mm-hmm. he actually did it. So, even though people want to say, protect him. OJ did it.
Protect murderers and killers.
And he got in trouble for that. So mm-hmm. whatever happens, I think libel should be something that rappers need to be careful about if they definitely want to take this lifestyle. I think that the company should warn their talent that if you're going to pursue this, you'll be held for libel. And I think that's something that they do. Whoever else wants to comment.
Aaron, go ahead. I want to hear your views on that. You're muted. Let me unmute you. Go ahead.
All right. I don't really agree with that because I feel like once you start saying like that, where you start censoring no.
You're breaking that bad.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
But it's even if you tried to take them, they're technically going to be called.
I didn't get any of that, but okay.
So do you not agree with the censorship, or do you agree with the censorship?
I don't agree with the censorship.
Okay. I think it's also something that, I agree with what you were saying. I heard a little bit of it, but yeah, I totally agree. The First Amendment should always be protected, but there's consequences. You can't screen fire in a building when there's no fire. There should be consequences to these things. You're allowed to say what you want. You're allowed to say your opinions. No one should be censored, canceled, or anything for their thoughts and views. But if it threatens the life of others, then you need to take into or you did something to harm the life of another person, and then that damage wasn't ratified, it wasn't rectified in any way, it wasn't taken to a point to where the families felt that they were compensated in any way. Libel should be something, a suit that they should be able to do. A libel suit should be something, because they
Right.
should be held accountable for their actions as
So
a civil suit.
this is my thing. If we can cancel everyone because they have a different opinions and views, say the Whoopi situation, then why is it okay for rappers to sit here and say the things that they say? It is, I don't get it and I don't understand it. So I get what you're saying about protecting the First Amendment right, but at this point, like you said before, is already under attack. It's pretty much already out the door. You can't even say what you want to say now. So why not go ahead and just try to, lessen the blow with the murder stuff, and not have these rappers but in crimes they committed into their music anyway. And I do believe there was a rapper not too long ago who was not committed, Lord Jesus, who was convicted for a crime that he had committed about killing one of his friends. I don't remember this rapper's name.
I think that was YNW Melly or YN,
Yes,
something like that.
Yes, him. So he put that he killed his friends in his music lyrics. And it's just like, if you're going to be so stupid to rap about someone you killed, then either you should be able to be prosecuted, because I don't believe the lyrics should be protected underneath the First Amendment right, because that is not your voice of opinion. That is a statement of a crime that you have committed. So right now, you then put that out into the world that you killed someone and this is how you did it, and you should pay for that.
Well, let's be honest though. They smacking these rappers about racketeering and drug charges and killing people. They starting to smack these rappers like the one rapper just got 8 or 9 years. Pooh Shiesty just got 8 or 9 years. Tekashi 6ix9ine was facing a whole bunch of time, but we all know what he did. They smacking these rappers for real, for different stuff, but some of them just don't get caught for what they doing.
Yeah, and
So
I want to say this. I don't believe all these rappers out here committing crimes. I don't believe.
I think they just be saying that they be doing shit.
No.
They be rapping real dudes' lives for real. Like they be rapping like real street niggas' lives for real. Like, let's be honest for real.
Yeah, unless we try not to use the N word too much on here, okay? So we don't watch the but
most of these rappers are just like, they hang around street dudes. Street dudes pay for they studio time and all of that.
Right.
That's what it is. They give them a story to be able to tell.
That makes sense.
I mean, but look at that. Even with Rick Ross, he talked about, oh, I sold drugs, I do this, I do that. And he was actually a correctional officer. It's like,
right.
You're not really, you know what I mean? Like what you rapping about, you really never did in real life at all.
But Rick Ross rapped about a dude named Rick Ross who was a big drug dealer in Miami.
Right.
So I think someone said, then let the children know that this is fantasy, not reality.
Yeah, because a lot of kids think it is. I can even say, for example, like my nephew's 9 and he listens to like NBA YoungBoy, all those, and he think that what he hear in his music is what he really, you know what I'm saying? Like he think that this is real life, and I have to tell him like, no, this isn't, you know what I mean? Like what he talk about is not what you do in everyday life. But with him being so young, it's like what he's seeing, it's like he following that, and it's like that's the wrong type of role model any child should be looking at, and that's just my opinion.
Well, it's not everyone's life. It is some people's life. Now, right, or some people's reality. But those people who live that reality are fighting nails and teeth to get up out of there. And here it is, we're hearing these lyrics, and it's making some of these kids feel like they feel uncomfortable in this environment. They don't shoot for the stars, because why do I have to shoot for the stars when I could be hood rich or hood famous? A lot of these young kids are aiming for the goal of hood famous. Just like a lot of people get on Facebook and they're so popping on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, and they're TikTok or Instagram famous, and it's not really putting any money in their pockets and it's not elevating them, but yet they're still trying to hang on to that image of I'm hood famous. and then hood famous, you get your name around in the hood, and people got your name in your mouth, and now someone's coming for you, they're gunning for you, and then what you think? Now you got real street beef, and bam, now your favorite rapper then told you, go murder someone, go tuka someone or something like that,
People really don't think it's like how you said, your favorite rapper will tell you to do whatever, but it's like if you really get in trouble, is your favorite rapper gonna come and get you out of that trouble?
Right.
Nope. That's why, most of those guys that listen, like you were saying, hood rich, they got their gator boots with their pimped out Gucci suits. They got no job.
Gucci,
they still ride. They got everything in their mama name. But that's okay, because I still fly. Oh my gosh, you guys didn't catch it. Yes.
Big timers.
Yeah, big timers. So like let's use big timers as an example. Lil Wayne, right? Lil Wayne doesn't rap about the life that he had. Have you ever heard him?
No,
he almost died at 13. He got shot in the chest. 13 years old.
He talks about it a little bit, but he really don't.
Can I stop you though?
He talks about it in interviews. He doesn't talk about it in.
Well, true. Yeah, not like
that. Right. Because Lil Wayne is my favorite rapper, and he ain't setting a good example either. Because now all he rap about is sipping lean, so he not setting a good example.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about violence.
Yeah.
We're talking about the crime and killing people and all that stuff and hurting people. We're not talking about using drug abuse. He's a drug abuser, and he's someone that has come out as being in rehab and said, "Hey, I've done these things and I'm atoning for my transgressions."
But I think we could squeeze the drug thing in there too, because drugs influence kids too. So he should be.
Yes, but I'm saying we were talking about like crime and murders and stuff, right?
But it's on the same spectrum.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it is okay. So if you ever been addicted to anything, if you ever been an addict, excuse me, trying to get out of it as an addict, it's a little harder than you would if you were a murderer. So if you were a convicted felon and you've done crimes where you've done armed burglary, armed robbery, killed someone, assaulted someone with a deadly weapon, those are federal crimes. Wayne got hit with charges for federal crimes, couldn't leave Las Vegas for a while. That's why he filmed Lollipop there, because he had federal charges on him. But he's not rapping about all that. He did.
But he's rapping about sipping lean, though.
No, he didn't rap.
You don't think he's scared? He does. He does rap about sipping lean. Not back then, but now he does.
And
he's still not. No, I've heard his tracks. He's not rapping about that stuff. I'm half in love with Lil Wayne too, man. And like, he's
definitely raps about sipping lean. Maybe not now, but he was.
I mean, he's talked about promethazine. It's just like he doesn't.
Because he made a comment in one of his lyrics about something. Don't worry about it. What's in my cup?
What's in my cup?
That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. No, it wasn't. He didn't say that recently. When did he say that?
He just said that on Moneybagg Yo song. Just said it. Moneybagg Yo got a song called Waukesha, and at the beginning of the song, he says it. Don't worry about what's in my cup. Was whatever in my cup, it makes me better or something like that. I don't know. But that's what he said. You know what I mean?
He's an addict, though, yo. He's an addict. You got to look at it from that perspective. He almost died from using that, and he's been told by the doctor to stop. He went to rehab for it, and he's an addict. And that there's nothing you can do about an addict unless they want to get clean. They're not going to get clean. That's not illegal. Use prescribed medication. He just abuses it.
Whoa!
It's not illegal to use prescribed medication. It's illegal to abuse it. And that's what he's doing. He's abusing it.
Okay.
So he's an addict. That's what they should do. Is they should be more awareness on drug addicts. But he's an addict.
It's the same difference as King Von. The dude King Von that we was initially talking about was really a murderer. I watched something on YouTube about that dude. He killed like 9 people for real.
My husband was telling me something about it was him killing like a 14-year-old girl or something like that.
Yeah, so
he tried to set him up.
it's like the same thing that Vass is saying. Like, okay, it's hard to get off of drugs, but once you kill 2 or 3 people, you be immune to like killing people. It doesn't matter to you about killing them, is what I'm saying. That dude was a serial killer for real. Like he killed like
drugs and murder are 2 different things.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like Lil Wayne rapped nothing about killing people. This is not the same drill rap. Wayne raps about going down on chicks. He raps about his sex game. He raps about what else? He raps about his monies. He raps about being the best rapper alive since the best rapper alive. He's not there talking about, oh, I went up down the street and I completely shot this person and just like swam in their blood and, you know, put their brain juice all on my shirt. You know, that he's not.
Remember Brother Lynch? Yeah, Brother Lynch used to be like that. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is it's not to that level. He's a drug addict. He doesn't rap about his crimes. Like he says, don't worry about what's in my cup, but that's drug abuse. It's not
drug abuse is still a crime.
I drank this cup and popped this dude in the head, and his brains are leaking on me while I'm rapping. You know, it's like
wait.
Different stuff.
He said one to the head. No, he did. No, yeah, Wayne said that.
But that was Go DJ.
But it don't matter. He still rapped about it.
No, he raps about it, but he's not in that life. That's not him. He didn't do any of that.
And Wayne is the same person that got caught with a gun.
He got caught with a gun, but never got caught with a murder charge.
He just got caught with another one again.
Wayne ain't killed nobody.
But Wayne hasn't done anything. He got shot, y'all. Like I'm trying to tell you.
But Wayne does not also. But you know the dangerous thing about Lil Wayne is he doesn't let these children know that he's educated. He's highly educated. That man is almost on the level of being a genius, but you would never know it because he does not put that out there for the young children to know. Wayne, why not use your voice to let children know that not only can you be a rapper, but you can be a scholar. You understand what I'm saying? So Wayne still has money and he is still relevant today because he wasn't no dummy. You understand? He wasn't stupid at all. So Wayne, let these children know that, listen, crime is not the only way. Stay in school, get your education. And Wayne's mother wasn't there. His father wasn't there. His granny raised him. So he is truly a product of, he could be seen as a product of his environment because he didn't have a 2-parent home. He had a grandmother who stayed on his case and raised him. So Wayne, you can speak life into these children. And some of these other rappers who act like they're, you know, so tough in these streets, who are actually very smart businessmen. Look at, what's his name? The dude who created the verses, Alicia Keys' husband. What's his name? Swizz Beatz. That man is highly educated. That man is smart. He's seen a market, say, hey, listen, let me put these old school people together and recreate something good and have them battle it out and make him millions of dollars. Billions, actually, I heard it was billion. These rappers are smarter than what they lead on to be. So put that in your lyrics. If you're going to rap, you know, you come to the mic and say, listen, not only if I hit the streets, but I hit a pound too, or some crap like that. And I do mathematics on the side and can't nobody play me, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. You know, they can actually add that in there, because if you can sit here and really take the pen and add your murders to the lyrics, then why can't you add your educational background to it too? And I'm rambling. Somebody else go ahead.
Well, that's interesting that you point that out, because most of the gangster rappers are highly educated. Tupac went to Juilliard Arts. Wayne went to a school of arts for gifted youngsters. And we have a situation where the one who actually showed their level of intelligence got killed in a stupid rap battle, and a little, like, you know, it was Tupac's a poet. If you never like listened to his sonnets, man, like that dude is a deep thinker. And losing him as early as we did, it's sad.
But why did we lose him as early as we did, though? Because of his hot-headedness and because of gang stuff.
It's not his hot-headedness. Let's be honest. Tupac was killed because he wouldn't be a submissive person. Tupac,
What?
he was not submissive. Listen, and let me
What?
tell you why he was not submissive. Tupac was not going to just lay down and take anything people gave him. At first, he was listening to Suge, and then he started to realize that he was his own. He was his own person.
So
Tupac,
you
his lyrics, some of his lyrics was really speaking to the people. He was speaking about the pains that he dealt with, like his song to Mama, how he said, listen, you weren't always there and you was on dope and everything like that, but you was still a good woman to me, and he wanted to make sure she was taken care of. And then he makes the song, was it Baby Don't Cry? That
Oh yeah,
song.
and I ain't mad at you too.
And I ain't mad at you. Like
so you telling me that what happened in that Vegas club that night had nothing to do with Tupac getting killed? Him
He had
stomping
sugar
out
in his
that,
ear, man. He had sugar in his ear.
that
you
goes
still
back
got
to
your own
the
mind. Oh,
listen.
you still got your own mind though. Like your vet
still
can't
have-
tell
You
me.
mix alcohol and drugs in a situation, nah, man. You can't tell
Let's
me.
not act like we
You
don't
can't,
know
you can't tell me
Suge
you ain't
Knight.
gonna make a dumb mistake.
Let's
when
not
you
act like
got
we don't know that
drugs and
Suge
alcohol.
Knight bullied most of his artists. He bullied most of his artists. Okay, he had Dr. Dre questioning himself, and Dre don't even look like that type of man. Dre, it took for Dre to be like, man, you understand what I'm saying? Tupac probably wouldn't have been beefing with Biggie and the Harlem Shake dude. What's his name? P. Diddy. He probably wouldn't have been beefing with him so hard if Suge wasn't in his ear. And this when it comes down to the record labels. He was signed to Death Row. Suge was the CEO of Death Row. So Death Row said, listen, I want some controversy. You go ahead and put a song out and you tell Biggie you effed his wife.
Yep.
Right? So now
But
that's coming back to the East Coast. And now that got Biggie, he got to respond. Right?
But again, we that's like off the topic of where I was going. Like where I'm at is, well, like Vass said, I'm thinking Pac wouldn't have never got killed. He wouldn't have did what he did in that MGM Grand that night. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna dispute that Suge probably had his hand in it, and it probably might have been some things, where Pac was getting away from him and he ain't want that. I'm not gonna dispute that because I don't know that. But I know, as a man that used to be in the streets or whatever, if you stomp somebody out, you gonna get what he got. And they stomped that dude out. So he got what he got. Every action has a reaction, and every reaction has an action.
And that's what we're telling these rappers.
Yeah.
Every action, every time you put a lyric out there and you're condoning yourself in the murders that you're committing, or the record label is telling you to write about a crime you never ever committed, and you are a bookworm and you're super smart, but you just have to uphold this image, then you have to hold yourself accountable. And then you have to think about the consequences that come after you doing that, which is young children following after your lead. This is the era of followers. These children were taught to follow. We have mainstream media teaching follow. We have social media follow, retweet, follow. It's always follow me, like me.
Funny that
Go ahead.
We have to be careful of what we put out to the children.
But it's funny that y'all bring up Tupac, because I feel like if he fell into that case to where he started to follow. Because they said, like, doing research on tourism, remember, Tupac was raised by a woman of the Black Panthers. He knew the difference between right and wrong. Tupac wasn't no gangster. He may have grew up in hoods. He was a product of somebody who was there, but he never was that. Until they said when he first got the role for became Bishop. That's where Tupac turned into the thug Tupac that everybody knew. That's where thug life and all of that got tattooed onto him. Because that's what he wanted to be. That's where he noticed that he can be able to get those type of roles. Like, and he tried to do that with what was the one movie? Menace to Society. He was originally supposed to play what was the preacher? Not preacher. What role was it? I can't remember which role he was supposed to play, but he wanted to do O-Dog. And he got passed up for it because they said that's not who they wrote that part for. And that's where Tupac came to go on Thug, and that, I feel like following in towards that. That's what got Tupac killed in MG.
Yep.
Is
Yep.
That's what set all of that into his motion. That's what made him decide that I'm Death Row. That's where he started hanging out with these people who got him jumped, that got him shot, that started that whole East Coast versus West Coast.
I think what was happening, I don't think they're going to talk about it, but in his biography, you know, I was like paying attention to it. He had conversations with his mom a lot because him and his mom were real close, right? I think there was a situation where he was actually going to leave Death Row because Snoop left. Snoop left.
He was.
Because Snoop was hung right out of the balcony upside down. Snoop was upside down on the balcony, and that's why he left.
I think that was Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. It was somebody was hung upside down.
Ice Cube,
and Snoop was there.
Vanilla Ice.
Okay. So Snoop was there watching this happen, and Snoop said, yeah, I'm out. So
actually, Snoop didn't leave till after Tupac died.
Right, he left. He left though because he saw some stuff and he wanted to leave, but he felt that Suge was like holding the contracts. He did something with the contract.
He was super scared to leave.
Yeah,
Snoop only left because he got with Master P, and he felt like Master P could protect him.
Right. So that's exactly what happened. So my stories was messed up because it's been so long since I talked about this. But the thing I remember from the thing that stuck with me is that Tupac wanted to leave, and I think Suge somehow was able to rein him in. And when he got him and he held him so tight that I think he put those people there that day. I think that day, and you know, he probably gave him coke. He probably gave him all kinds of alcohol, and they were just taking shots and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think somehow Suge had a play in what happened that night. There's no way, because Suge was literally right next to him the whole entire night. You could see in the cameras. It's Pac right here, the entourage, Suge right literally behind him. And then at the end, after they stopped the dude, who's right there next to him, kicking Pearson in the face? Suge. Suge's right there in the jump too. So then when they're walking, you can see the last thing they see is him walking. Who's right behind him and walking this? Suge wasn't 5 people behind him. He was literally Tupac was right here, Suge's right here. And it's like the setup for that night, it just felt like it was a hit job because he wanted to leave. And if he left, he was taking away everything from Suge. And how is he going to keep the rights? If Pac leaves now in his death, he keeps the rights.
And then you got to remember, Pac wrote most of his stuff.
He keeps the rights. And that's why Suge never let those go. That's why you couldn't find Tupac out until after he went to jail. So that was after he went to jail and all that stuff. That's when the CEOs, all that crumbled. All the rights got put back to the mom because the mom had to go to take Suge to court. And like, she had to deal with that for years to get the rights to her son's catalog because he had unreleased music. He had so much unreleased music that there were hours of tracks. Hours. That's why there's albums that could still come out today. And, you know, Chappelle was making fun of it. Don't hit that table with this is skip.
Okay, well, I'm so happy you guys got deep in that, and we got a little bit off topic, but I think what we talked about needed to be addressed. Again, parents, you have to monitor what your children watch, and also they will sneak away because you can't watch your children 24/7. But let's have conversations with our children. Let's let our children know that in today's world, there is going to be a push and a drive to follow after others. And that the most important thing for a child to do, a teenager, a young adult to do, is to trust their instincts and trust their gut. And remember the teachings and the raising up that your parents have given you, and the guidance that your parents have given you. And you have to trust yourself. If it does not feel right, do not do it. It is okay for you not to be the monkey see, monkey do. It is okay. So I wanted to go ahead and hit the trending corner with Laura D real quick because guess what? Mr. Zimmerman is trending again. So I want you guys' opinions on this. I was supposed to hit this yesterday, but I did not get a chance to. So George Zimmerman had sued Trayvon Martin's parents, Tracy Martin and Sabrina Fulton. So I want to know, what do you guys think about him bringing this lawsuit? And also, the judge did throw it out. But what do you guys think about Mr. Zimmerman bringing this lawsuit against the parents of Trayvon Martin, and he then took this young man from his parents and got away with murder? Someone give me your thoughts. Aaron, go first.
I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even know nothing about it. It's the first time hearing about it. Well, that sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me.
Like, what he's suing for, though?
Go ahead.
What did he sue him for?
I don't really. He was suing for I forgot what it was for. Lord Jesus, I did forget. I forgot what the lawsuit was based upon, but I did see that he was suing him for emotional stress and
it's everything that happened for the trial.
Yeah,
he went to his trial. Yeah.
Okay. And it was thank you, Brandon.
Him going to jail and whatnot and all that. Yeah. And everything that happened after the
innocent man, like you killed a person for no good reason. Like anything you got should have happened to you and more.
Yeah, I think it was hilarious. I don't think he should have ever had the rights to do that ever also. But hearing the judge throwing it out and then telling Zimmerman off for being an idiot, it was pretty cool. So like you can't, like, that's the problem with the US as well for the civil suits. You can sue anybody.
I just
feel
like
you can sue anyone for anything. That's a problem. But
I kind of feel like that's
no
poking the bear. Like
it's not really. It's not a bear poking. The fact that he did it, as far as like the suing goes, and the judge was able to recognize that it's a bunch of bullcorn is great. But that's where we see the progress in the world, right? But him doing what he did all those years ago, and then got the nerve to say a bag of Skittles is a gun. So like, he felt like the kid was a threat. What did he do to provoke it? He had to do something. The kid he was just a kid, He was just walking down. He probably went up to him and was like, "Hey, you don't belong in this neighborhood. What are you doing?" Putting his finger in his face.
But can I be honest though? For me, and I'm sorry to say this like this, but all black men right now are a threat to cops, to some white people. You feel what I'm saying? To some other people. To all black men are threats right now. Let's just be honest. They're killing black men for sport. Cops are killing us for. It's modern day lynching again. To me.
So wait, okay. Oh, you say what you're saying. Let's clear that up. So what you're saying is you feel like that others view us all black men as a threat. So whenever they see us, they're automatically threatened. Okay, because I'm going to clarify.
But I said some Caucasian people, not all, because no, some Caucasian people but the cops are killing us for sport right now. You don't really, it's always a black man or woman or something in the news being killed by these cops.
Yeah, well, to be honest,
come on, for real, let's be honest
here. I agree with that too, but they're starting to kill they're starting to get out of hand, killing white people now, and
sometimes, but there's more minorities killed
now, and there are, but that is a topic for another day because we got about 2 minutes left.
Yeah, that's a topic for another day because I have a question about that. I'll pose a question, but we'll wait for afterwards. I want to know what your thoughts are.
Okay. So
I'll pose a question, but we'll be
so my thoughts on Zimmerman suing. Oh, because he didn't just sue the family.
I mean, I didn't mean any disrespect.
Oh, he must think you white.
Yeah. That's hilarious, right? Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so my thoughts is so comical. Like, Lord Jesus.
It happens, you know?
It happens. It's okay. So, my opinion on this, because I didn't want to stay because I left out something. He did sue the family. He sued the family and he sued the lawyer too. He sued Ben Crump.
You sure did.
You're going to sue Ben Crump. You must be an idiot. You must be an idiot.
That's why the judge threw it out. He saw through that. He saw right through it.
And at this point, Zimmerman, why are you still in the news? Why are you still a thing? Go under the rock and hide. Because if he had killed someone else's child. See, Sabrina Fulton and Luther Tracy, they are very civilized people. You understand what I'm saying? They are so classy. I love the way very civilized people herself. I'm sorry, guys. My bad. I love the way that she carries herself. She is so poised. And also, what I was saying was, if it was someone else, they might have handled him differently. He might not have the opportunity to still be speaking so much and doing nonsense, the nonsense that he's doing. I think that at this point, he likes the attention. And I think that he is trying to find $1 under a rock and a hard place. That is what he is looking for. This man has ruined his whole life by being a Karen, because we did not have Karens in that time. Zimmerman was definitely a Karen. We're going to go ahead and say that, because anytime a person is walking and minding their business and you stop them to question them, you are a Karen and you need to learn to mind your own business. If that boy was not actively committing a crime, you should not have approached him, and the 911 dispatcher told you to stay in the car and stay on the phone and wait for the police. But I'm going to have to say he deserves everything that he is going to get in life, because the universe is going to continue to deal with him. But I just want to go ahead and wrap up today's show. This is the Alluring Hour with Alora Dannon. I want to thank you. I want to give thanks to my guest, Brandon Vasquez, my cousin Trav, and my brother-in-law, Aaron. Thank you guys for being here. And shout out to my girl, Jazz. Thanks, girl, for showing up. And give little Ivy a kiss for me. Also, follow us on YouTube, like and subscribe, please. The Alluring Hour podcast with Alora Dannon. Thank you, guys. And we are out.